Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are now listening to That Infernal Noise podcast, part of the Mental Health News Radio Network. Fuck yeah.
Hello, everyone. We are back. We have, again, a new setup.
We're going to have a new setup until we get the official...
We may have a new setup.
We're trying to level up all the time.
We need to get that sound. That was Mario.
That was the warp thing.
I know. That's why. I know it was the warp.
I mean, you are going to a higher level in that situation, so I guess it's appropriate. But that's not what you were talking about. The growing.
Mushroom. Yeah, like when the sound. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, whatever.
Hey, whatever, motherfucker.
I think he means Bolivia or Oblivion. Sorry, the original.
Tell him I'm gonna knock his ass into Bolivia. I think he means Oblivion. Whatever, motherfucker.
Whatever, motherfucker.
Whatever, motherfucker, indeed.
Whatever, motherfucker, indeed. We are back for another episode of That Infernal Noise. And, okay, so I'm not new to the spiritual metaphysical realm by any stretch.
You've been around it for well over a decade at this point. And longer than that.
My whole life.
But more so since you and I have been together.
Yes, more so in the past, coming up on 13 years.
It's longer than that.
Well, officially in the second time.
So, well, I mean, since you've known me. In general, you've been around it in some form or fashion.
Specifically since you and I have been together. Hey, I've struggled with my whole brain this past week. Man, the executive functioning disorder was disordering.
You never should have read that.
Yeah, no, because it explains everything.
And now it's just going to be like, fuck.
Because you've seen me do it. I will have a shit fuck ton of things to do. I know how to do the things, but I can't plan how to get things done. So I just sit there and I stare at stuff and then I cry.
That sounds like you're joking, but you're not.
I'm not.
I've seen you do it.
1,000%, I'm not. And then I cry.
It's not daily, at least.
No.
Anymore.
It's usually just when I'm really stressed and when it's really busy. Mm-hmm. And then this past week was month end, so it was really busy and really stressful. So, and then Kaylee was gone. There was just a lot.
There was a lot of stressors going on.
So I was just and then I just cried because I lost an hour of time because of time blindness because I needed to step away from my desk because of the executive dysfunction, like being able to do the things. So I needed to step away from my desk, and then I lost an hour.
Luckily, you weren't shirking your duties or anything like that.
No, I was not. It was. I basically used that time as my lunch hour.
Break, yeah.
So I mean, it all worked out. Luckily I work from home. So and I don't have a job. I work in finance, so it's a little more lax when it comes to my duties for the day. As long as I do 8 hours of work, it doesn't have to be...
And you're staying within your timelines and all that shit. It doesn't matter.
And I attend my meetings and things like that. So if I needed to step away for a mental health thing where it's just like, okay, I need a break, I don't have to...
And there have been those moments.
Yeah. I don't have to do it, okay, I have to take lunch at 12:30.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, I have to...
That's the one thing I like about the corporate world is you can have more flexibility in those situations, even though people decide to be cunts about why the fuck are they on lunch right now?
Because I need to fucking eat. And sorry, that look was... I hit my elbow.
Yeah.
That shit hurt. Okay, so sorry. Go back to the Nero Spicy thing. I saw something as we were starting that kind of ties into what I was wanting to talk about today, because I know we talk about communication a lot, and that's the whole reason we started this podcast, was for more communication to spread, as our experiences, our wisdom, our what we can pass on. And I know we talk about communication a lot, but I think whoever, I don't know who first said communication is key. I really don't care. Whoever said it, it's factual. It's absolutely factual because we need to be able to speak to each other and communicate effectively.
And not just in our like romantic relationships.
I mean, in from one human being to another human being, we should be able to converse in a way
and then take it a step further, and we should be able to talk to our kids.
Yeah.
In that same way.
Yeah. Anybody, any other human body.
Well, people automatically discount their kids in those
because
situations.
They're young.
Yes.
Because they're theirs or whatever. Your kids are not your property. Fuck you. Whatever. Anyway, that's a whole other episode of shit.
That's because of all the shit we've been through.
Yeah.
What?
When you're treated as property by your parent, it's a whole other thing.
The first person to say communication is key is Paul J. Meyer.
Paul J. J or James?
Paul J. Meyer.
Paul J.
That's what
Meyer.
we should do. We should have Noey sit in and fucking fact check us.
Rem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you seen Rem on that podcast? The dude with the braids?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's Rem.
So I just happened to see this. I haven't you had played a video. I was seeing if I was sent the same video, which I was, and I just happened to. I stay off of social media a lot.
As much as possible, usually.
And that has not always been who I was. But now it's like I would rather spend my time doing so many other things that
something creative, something that you enjoy doing.
Yeah, that I don't want to be on my phone. Like, I'll play my games. If I'm on my phone, I'm either responding to a text message, like I'm communicating with somebody else, or I'm playing a game.
Something like just to be mindless or something like that. Yeah.
Because social media makes me cry. And I just happened the other day. I saw a post.
What was it, yesterday?
Was it yesterday? I don't even remember what day it was.
No, it was Friday. It was Friday.
It was Friday?
It was Friday.
Like, I can't
Because yesterday we were talking the entire time going to bed, and it was right around bedtime.
Yeah,
that's the only
right.
reason I know.
That's right. Like, I can't. And I used to have like a baseball rule: 3 strikes of negative stuff or
and then
stuff that hurts my
shit
heart,
off.
and then I have to be done with it. And it's all social media. It's not like, oh, I have 1 strike or 3 strikes on Instagram and 3 strikes on TikTok and 3. No, I have 3 strikes.
Yeah.
And if those just happen to be all on Facebook in the span of 3 minutes, then so fucking be it. If that, and the other day, and now I'm just going to go back to it being, it's one and done. Because the post I made the other day about the 3 richest people in our country and the huge gap.
Disparity. Yeah.
And how we live as normal working Americans as opposed to the 3 richest people. Not saying that they didn't work or they didn't do
earn
work.
it or whatever.
I'm not saying that,
yeah.
but they don't live like we do. So that one showed me that, okay, I need to be like a one and done. I can scroll and I can see people's dogs. I can see people's kids. I can see people.
I thought you were going to say Pepple.
Pepple. Yes, Pepples. See people's. Sorry. I'm speaking too quickly and I'm not speaking concisely. My bad. I don't mind seeing the cool shit on the internet, but there's so much not cool shit on the internet.
That's
now
why
that
I don't add like a whole bunch of shit. I stay on my witchy shit, my self motivation shit.
Yep.
And
Same.
shit like that. And like my friends, like kids and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
even
yeah.
removed the friends that I had that were not on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That were constantly bitching and shit like that. People that I considered fucking family. And
Yeah.
you know who I'm talking
And
about.
I'll
Because he
just-
went super fucking racist whenever fucking
it's
Trump.
fucking
It's just like,
weird.
nah, bro. And like,
All right.
you grew up with
Cool,
a
cool,
bunch of
cool.
fucking Mexicans and now.
But you do you. Okay.
Whatever. I'm not
But-
getting into that again.
But yeah, so I just happened to see something. No.
You lost it.
I lost it.
Did you like it?
I don't know if I did.
You hate whenever that happens too, don't you?
No. And I don't even remember what page it was on either. That's
Go to your
shitty-
activity and see if you liked it, first off. If not, just try to paraphrase. That's why as soon as I see something I like it immediately, so I know I at least have it in my shit.
Yeah, okay. Well, basically, I'll try to remember. And I'm going to, like, talk and scroll at the same time so I can hopefully maybe find it by the time I'm done talking about it. But it was basically talking about how if it's real, the truth won't damage it. Being open and honest about it was just basically talking if it's a genuine thing, having hard conversations isn't gonna ruin it. If it's I really, really, really wish I could.
It's okay. Just
Really, really wish, because it fits so well in with what I was trying to, what I wanted to convey in this, because there are so many people who don't know how to communicate, and not because they don't want to talk or that they don't like to talk or whatever. It's they don't know how to. And that's okay, because we weren't taught how to. Please, hold on.
we just ended up figuring out the shit.
Fucking something almost... I almost pushed a little thing on my eye into my eyeball. A
Don't do
little... Not... pebble. Jesus. A little, like, crusty thing. Apparently, they... I don't know. I'm sleepy, guys. I'm so sorry. And it's like... It's not even, like, early in the day.
No, it's almost 3:30 as we're recording this right now.
God, I'm so sleepy. Anyway. So my thing is that, and we've been guilty of this. You and I, like, as individuals, and in our relationship and outside of our relationship, we've been guilty of thinking that communication or trying to clarify or asking questions was an attack. It was in them's fighting words kind of thing. We're like, don't question me. Don't make me explain why. Don't make me explain my feelings. It just is. I said what I said. It is what it is. And I think that hurts a lot of people and a lot of relationships. And I don't just mean romantically necessarily, because a lot of people are...
Well, no, that same thing happened to us in our relationships with our parent.
Oh, fair.
You see what I'm saying?
Fair.
So it's not... I agree with that.
So we weren't allowed to ask why, because I fucking said so. Okay.
And yeah, there is a time and a place for that.
There is. But
like,
when it comes... Okay,
like
I
that,
love Logan.
there
Logan
is some
asked,
of that where you're just like, because I said so. That's where that comes into play, because he likes to push boundaries.
Yes, he does it very purposefully, though. So there is a time for us to just say, my guy, just go put on your fucking shoes and get in the car.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing things to harm you or hurt you. You don't need to
We're
know
not dropping you off at the fire
no.
station. Like, we're not doing any of that
No.
shit. Come the fuck on. Let's go.
Let's go. You don't need to know every single detail of every single thing of every single day. Like, come on, just get in the car. Where we go next? What are we doing? Shut your face. We're just get in the car. Anyway. Especially when it comes to the maintenance of a relationship. And the maintenance and self-care of yourself. I think when it comes to communication and having the ability to ask questions, and because we don't understand other people's experience, because it's not our experience. So if we are told something by someone else and we're not fully comprehending what they're meaning because we haven't experienced exactly what they're talking about. And then when we try to ask, hey, what are you talking about? Then it's a fight. And then like, no, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm not trying to tell you you're wrong by asking. I'm just asking because I don't understand. And people don't get that. It's automatically, well, why do I have to explain? I said I'm upset. I said this action made me upset. But
yeah,
why
but
does
you
it
don't understand why
Yeah.
it caused that because that's not how you were
Yeah,
intending
because
it.
an outlandish example. I don't like jelly donuts. I've used jelly donuts a lot recently in examples and conversations, and it is what it is. But I don't like jelly donuts, jelly-filled donuts. Like, I like donuts. I like jelly. Just together, for me, it just does
Not a thing. Not a thing.
work. I don't know why.
Everybody has their preferences.
I need to stop thinking about it before I gag. Which is weird because, but
You don't-
never mind.
you don't
Never mind.
gag.
Never mind. Anyway, so if you were to bring me a jelly donut, and I say, how fucking could you? And you're like, what? I was just trying to be sweet.
trying to be nice, motherfucker.
I was just
Like-
trying to make sure you got a sweet treat. I thought you would like the donut. I got some jelly-filled donuts on the way home. And I'm like, fuck you. You know I don't like jelly-filled donuts. Okay, but I thought that maybe you would want to try this one. It sounded like something you would want to try.
It's a good tasting one. Whatever.
So, because you like jelly-filled donuts and you don't understand why I don't like, because I have like, and there's reasons. Oh, I have and it's something simple as I have texture issues,
Whatever.
and
Yeah.
that's the reasoning
Yeah.
behind it. For this
specific example.
I have texture issues, and when it comes to jelly in a donut, it bugs me. Okay? So instead of chastising you and saying, how fucking dare you bring me this donut, and I said I don't fucking like it. How can you, instead of saying that and belittling you for trying to understand me deeply, because that's all it is you're trying to understand.
You're trying to
the
understand
person.
it better. Or the situation.
Yeah,
or whatever.
because if you understand, that's how you obtain empathy. You say, I don't understand why. And then if you are explained, oh, okay, I can see why that would be upsetting. Oh, okay, then I can therefore take this information, go forward in my life, and realize, oh, I didn't know people
and
like
multiply
that.
upon them.
Right? Because if you like jelly donuts, then everyone likes jelly donuts. Until you find out that someone
Somebody
else
doesn't like it. Yeah.
jelly donuts.
It's like fucking Logan with the Oreos. Like, whenever we were
And
explaining
then your
him
palates
finally
change.
eating an Oreo, everybody's like, how the fuck do you not like Oreos? Like, you're a kid. You're 11. You're supposed to like Oreos.
He is like me in some things, because I still to this day don't like Jell-O. I have texture issues. Like,
Jello's delicious, though.
and it was funny because like Noey the other day didn't realize that I don't eat pudding either until it's like a banana cream pie. But there's other things
There's
in
other
it.
textures in it
Yes.
to break up that texture.
Yes. So instead of realizing that, oh, he's trying to understand why I do or don't like something, and like a
Sidebar,
deeper-
I've never brought you a jelly donut.
No, never.
In real life.
This was just a ridiculous, quirky kind of example, but it's on a smaller scale, but it's for everything.
It's the same principle.
For everything. Just because you ask a question to understand on a deeper level does not mean it's an attack.
That just reminds me of our conversation whenever we were baked on Friday. I'm fucking Bert Kreischer. I'm an unlovable idiot.
You're not yes-anding.
Never realized it until that fucking moment. Like, I knew I did it, but I didn't realize how it came across. I was just like, oh no, I'm just trying to help. Like, why?
Yes, and I understand that, but we haven't always been able to communicate in the way that we do
Yeah.
now, where it doesn't feel like a personal
Like, you're
attack.
fucking stupid. This is better.
Yes, it's not.
And it was never that.
I know. But
I'm the idea guy.
you
Not so much the execution guy. I'm the idea guy.
But it's instead of everyone as a whole stopping just for a second and be like, why is this person asking this? This person may want to understand me better. And
Well,
why is that?
or like that situation, I was trying to understand myself better because I never fucking realized it.
Right.
We're just like, oh, shit.
But this
and I
kind
had
of-
to stop myself earlier, whatever you were talking about your idea over the plants, because I was going to say something, and I was just like, no. She's got a good idea. Let her go with it. You don't have to fucking interject. You could just shut up.
And the thing
it's a
is,
good
is
idea
that-
that she has. Don't try to make
And
it.
the thing is that it's communicating in a different way because it's how you say things and the words you use. Like, and I know that may seem tedious, and people are going to say, well, that's just how I talk. Understand me. And yes, there has to be
There has to be a give and take with that.
it's a dance. Mm-hmm. It is a dance. It's
And gangsters don't dance. We boogie.
okay. Well, then it's a fucking boogie. Then, like, you know what I mean? Because
And juggalos boogie woogie woo. So
oh my god, my
Whoop.
goodness. Boogie
Whoop.
woogie. No. But like, okay, little quick side quest with the plants. You really, oh, that's a really cool idea, babe. Yeah. Oh, what if then?
I was going to. I said that's a really cool idea, and then I stopped, and I purposely got quiet because I was about to do that.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was the words you were using. It was, oh, what would make it better is.
Yeah, but it's to me. I'm implying that I think it's a cool idea because I'm going with it and I'm trying to improve on it.
Agreed.
That's how it works in my head.
Agreed. And that's why, and I told you that's why I never
That's
said
why I feel
anything.
like Bert Kreischer, because I just punch things up not thinking about it because it sounds cooler to me that way.
Yeah.
I'm just
But
like, oh fuck.
yeah. And that's again, and I'll say it publicly. I told you I don't say anything. Like, I have gotten in my feelings momentarily where it's like, my idea is fucking cool too, but it's, hold on.
He's not saying it's not
He's
cool.
not saying it's not cool.
He's trying to get gassed about the thing you're excited about.
And he is just getting excited, and those are the words he uses. But then again, I do have the right as a human being and as your wife.
Remind me to tell you my idea after the fact, though.
Okay.
Since the moment has passed
Yes.
now.
Oh, but I do have the right to say, to feel some kind of way momentarily. To
Yeah,
be like,
you
well,
do. It makes me feel like shit because I don't intend it that way.
But also, I do know that you aren't meaning to do that. And that's not, the words you are meaning are not in a...
I just speak very crassly sometimes, or not crass in that
No.
situation, but
impulsively.
impulsively more so. Like the filter disappears whenever I get
Yeah.
excited about shit.
And that's okay. But that's why it should be okay to gently, and a lot of people call it sugar coating or dancing around it. which you
I
have.
realize that there's a big difference between that shit now.
Yes, because it's not sugar coating it to be like, hey, when you say, what would make that better? When I talk about my ideas, it makes me feel that you're implying that my idea isn't good to start with.
No, that's setting boundaries and being like, yo, this bothers me.
Yes, because
Can we approach
the
it
other
differently because
person,
I know you're not intending it to sound like that.
without being able to bring that stuff up or ask questions, then we don't fully understand the other people, the other person that we have a relationship with. Because if the first time you had said that, when I wasn't, if I had not been intimidated in communication, in hurting your feelings or making you angry or whatever the thing is, if I had just been, hey, what do you mean by that? Do you mean that my idea isn't good enough and you're trying to, what do you mean by that? Because if I had, before therapy and really getting to know myself and really doing the hard fucking, because this is hard fucking work. I would have never in a million years come to you like that. Even that is a very respectful and normal way to come to somebody.
But we didn't know how to communicate.
I would have thrown up before asking that question. I would have cried in tears.
I like that you don't hesitate as much now whenever it comes to shit like that.
Because
I guess that means you've gotten more comfortable.
Yes.
That I'm not going to flip the fuck out.
Right.
Or whatever.
And then there was a point in time where both of us would have received that question, and I would have internalized it, and I would have felt bad and done nothing but apologized and like made it into something that it didn't need to be.
And I apologize because I don't intend that, but I let it go. It's like I'm not beating myself up for it because it's just like, well, I'm not intending to do that. I can't beat myself up for that.
Right. I would have mentally flogged myself if I thought that. And then there would have been a time that if I came to you with that question, it would have been...
The fuck?
Why did
you take it like that?
Yeah, it would have been a fight. And so what I think people need to understand the most is that, yes, there are people out there that instigate and push and dig and do things like that to start those arguments. There are people like that.
Yeah.
But by and large, when people are asking questions...
They're just trying to understand.
They're just trying to understand. And why are you going to... And then get mad at them later when they don't change behavior. When they can't. Because they can't change behavior because they don't know what's pissing you off or what's upsetting you or what's making the situation not mutually beneficial for the other side. Or for the both of you. Because you can't do anything about it. We've told the kids, we can't fix it if we don't know. None of us are mind readers. So if we don't fully understand... No, you're not. Shut up.
I can be at times.
Fair. Okay, you're not fully...
But that's only because I overthink every possible scenario so I can see the signs and then I'm just like, okay, it's this one. It's option B. Fuck.
Can we go to option 17, please? No,
you just said option B. Like, yeah, I know. I got a weird system.
We did the alphabet first because there's only 16. Then you'd add numbers.
No, because the way my mind works, I go all over the place. So it would be like A, 3, and then Z. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no rhyme or reason.
I just put it in a bucket and slapped a label on it.
Like, I think that's the right one. I don't fucking... Anyway, sorry.
But I don't understand, like, being on this side of it now, and I could even be, like, if an older or younger version, a past version of me, I mean older as an older mindset, sorry. If a past version of me was sitting where you're sitting, I would say this, I don't understand now. Being on this side, I don't understand not wanting someone to fully understand you.
Like wanting to be isolated from that. Like, I need to be my own person. And yes, there is something to autonomy, but especially interrelationship shit and not just romantic, but in general, wouldn't you want everybody to understand you as much as possible and not withhold purposely?
Yes. Or be scared to be honest. Authentic. Like, so by and large, I don't understand it now. I mean, I do understand it because I was that person.
You had the walls up. Everybody had to have, like, you and I, well, I'm not going to speak for everybody else, but you and I had those walls up because of shitty relationships and not just romantically, but parentally, not sibling-wise, but, like, family-wise and shit like that, friend-wise.
Human, other people.
Taking advantage or whatever, so we felt like we had to be guarded all the time.
Yeah.
And still do to a certain extent, and we have to fight against that to be on this side of it.
Yeah, because you have to do that. You have to do the hard things in order to rewire the brain. And it sucks.
It fucking sucks.
It's not fun. It's not easy. And people look at it and say, ooh, I want that. I want what you have. But are completely...
Good fucking luck. Because I don't understand how the fuck I got it. I know I had to do the work.
Yes, and
but
that's how you got
I don't
it.
remember the catalyst. You know what I mean? Like
I
what?
do.
Well, okay, yeah, we kind of do, but just in
COVID
general.
almost took us out. COVID almost took our relationship out. Being quarantined with a person and being literally unable
and
to
stuck in the house with that person and 4 kids.
and then
No offense.
and then having having a healed or healing mind, because I'm not healed.
We're healing.
I'm healing.
Yeah.
I know how to the process of healing. I know the process. I have tools to help me heal. Mm-hmm. I will never be fully healed over everything. No.
Well, I think that goes to the whole addict thing. Like, you're always an addict, no matter when the last time you partook in your vice of choice.
Fair.
And I think it's a lot the same. Like, if you think you're healed, you're probably not.
And I am better. I'm not saying
no, better is one thing, but we understand that it's still a process and that it's an ongoing process.
Because you can still be triggered by something. And in being triggered, your body literally releases the same neurochemicals as it does when the event happened. So literally it's never gone. Never. And healed means past tense, means it is complete. And this isn't complete. It doesn't complete until I die. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that knowledge. I'm okay with today's going to be a good day. I'm going to do everything I can every single day to make it a good day. But not every day is going to be a good day.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to have nothing but good days.
This is the experience. This is the experiment. This, from source, universe, whatever, this is it. And something you said to me, I want to say it was Friday.
It was Friday. I know what you're talking about already.
Journal, because I struggle with journaling. And you said something that was very profound in that you do it every day and that you've stuck with it for so long. Because it
was April 7th that I started.
Because you've also struggled with it. You'll start it and then you'll stop.
This has been the most consistent I've journaled
because you
my entire life.
Yeah.
And I love writing. That's the fucked up part.
But you had the same problem of I don't want to just write. It feels weird having to write. I did this today. I did that today. We talked about this. We did this, whatever. But it's like, I still had a good day. This is still
even though it was the mundane shit.
Yes.
I still had a good day. And it helps, for me, it helps put that in perspective. Like, we don't have to go out and have this amazing dinner all the time or go to this place, that place. We could just sit at the house and chill with the kids.
It's not extravagant.
It's about what we get out of it.
Yeah.
And journaling has helped me appreciate all of those little things, especially now that Chris and Kaylee are older.
Yep.
It's like, we don't get that with them as much anymore.
Right. And
we get it with Noey and Logan, but because we missed it with Chris and Kaylee here and there, not all the time. We still had those moments, obviously, but we were still stuck in our own bullshit at that point, too.
Agreed.
To where we couldn't enjoy it the way we should. And now, with all of that and with the journaling and all that shit, it's made me more introspective to where us sitting down watching Jujutsu with the kids.
So fun.
It's so fun because the kids get stoked about shit like I do. They're like, oh, well, what about... And we just start talking about shit.
There's a group message that we have. I mean, Chris doesn't have social media right now, but there's and I think we should start maybe like a text message one so everyone can be involved. But we've, like, in the family group
on Instagram.
Oh, well, that and Logan can't be a part of it because he doesn't have Instagram
he's not
right now.
13
He's 11
yet.
and he doesn't need
He
it.
needs to stay away from social media until he's older. We made all of them do it.
But we have all of our pictures, our profile pictures are fucking my hero.
And we didn't even plan that. It's
and
like,
then could you...
Kaylee and Noey changed theirs, and we were just like, are we doing this? Is this a thing?
So now, and like everybody was like, say less, boom, boom, done, done, done. And it was
You took too long.
I did. I got distracted. I did. My bad. But it's a really cute picture.
It is.
So maybe we should turn it to a text so we can like rotate and do like, oh, this week it's gonna be jujutsu, or
Yeah, but that doesn't work because Chris hasn't watched all the stuff. That's what I'm saying. That doesn't necessarily work.
Still, just be like change it if you've seen it. You can keep it as an anime character, but you know what I mean. So, but even
anybody picks Gojo, fighting.
I love Gojo so much. Oh my god.
Kaylee would probably be like Fushiguro. What's his name? The big brother. Toga? Yuji. The dude that's like, oh, he's my brother. I've known him forever. It's Toga, right?
I don't remember his name.
The big dude with Scar from the other school. Isn't that his name, Toga?
I don't know.
Well, regardless.
The only person I think of when I hear the name Toga is from My Hero.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I think Toto. It's Toto. Jesus Christ, we watch too much anime.
Yes, we do.
But I could see you doing Toto or Maki, because Maki's kind of badass. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. What?
Nothing. I'm just giving you shit. But at the end of the day, like, I don't understand why we and the fucked up thing is that what's by and large, what does everyone want? Everyone wants to be understood. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to be shit.
That's what we want.
No, by and large, still, no.
Some people want to be left the fuck alone.
But they want to be with the people that they want to be understood by. They want to be understood.
Yeah.
They want to be heard and seen and understood by the ones that they want to be understood by. But then it's an issue when questions are asked or hard conversations are brought
why
up.
can't you just listen to me? Like, I am listening to you, but I'm actively listening to you, and I'm trying to get more context for what you're saying.
And I saw something about this recently as well. You can't give people the dots
and not connect them for them.
And
because some people can't connect
them to connect them.
And you can sometimes, but I can't do it all the time. And I think I'm pretty what's the word? Like, intelligent in that aspect, like emotionally intelligent, where I can figure out where people are going. But I still ask questions.
Yes.
Because that might not be exactly what it is, and I need to know, because I have my own ideas of what you're thinking. But tell me exactly what you're thinking.
By and large, we still, it's, some of it has to do with we were raised with
toxic.
But we weren't allowed to ask for shit we
toxic.
needed.
That's what I said. The toxic.
So it kind of changes into adulthood of, okay, I'm going to give them the breadcrumbs and they have to figure out how to get there. And if they don't, that means they don't actually love me.
Which is retarded. And I'm guilty of it just as much as anybody.
Yes.
But that's
I am
fucking
too.
dumb.
It is. Saying it out loud.
You realize
because then it's like, oh wait, you're giving
them nothing and expecting them to get everything.
Yes, you're giving someone puzzle pieces.
And not showing them what the puzzle is supposed to be. That's what it is, because you see the big picture, but you're only giving them the pieces and saying, figure it out.
And the pieces you're giving them?
You could figure it out, but it's going to take a hell of a lot longer if you don't have the big picture.
Yeah, and all the pieces that you're giving them are all the same color.
Ugh.
And they're not all edge pieces.
I'm going to do that to Noey and Kaylee one day.
Oh my God.
I'm going to buy them like an all white picture and they have to put it together.
They have puzzles like that where it's all one color.
That whole thought is infuriating to me.
Me too. Same. But like the people who want to be understood, and this is by and large the vast majority of people, and I've been, like I said, and I'm not sitting here saying, oh, how could they? I don't understand. I've done shit.
I get
like
it.
this.
Yeah. No, I've absolutely done
Because
it.
how could someone not? I've told them, I like this.
But see, we realized at a certain point that we were only telling people what we wanted to tell them and not everything that they needed in the moment.
Yes.
We've been guilty of that with each other.
Uh-huh.
Where we're just like, well, why didn't you get that? Well, you said da-da-da-da-da, and this is what I got out of it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh,
and that's
fuck.
why
Like,
it should be 1,000% acceptable to be like, and the example in the video that the woman was talking about was chocolate. I think she said dark chocolate specifically, but she was talking about how the way we were raised and how it is currently not acceptable or wasn't acceptable to be like, hey, I like this kind of chocolate. It would be really, really nice if you surprised me with it every once in a while. You don't have to do it all the time, but every once in a while it would be cool. And then because a lot of people say, oh, that person doesn't love me or that person doesn't care about me in whatever aspect if I have to tell them exactly what I want. And that's not the case because of perception. You said this and this. I thought that's what you meant. Well, no, if you would have just said, oh, I wanted this kind of thing, and every once in a while, if you could do that for me, that would be...
Like, I've told you that
Yeah.
whenever it comes down to shit. It's like, just, you don't have to do much. It's like, if you're going to Walmart and you see something and you're like, oh, Robert would like that, just fucking get it.
Yeah.
Because so often guys go to the wayside with this shit.
Yeah.
And it bothered me.
Because,
this was
you know,
a while ago, obviously.
This was like at the beginning of our relationship. Like, this was a long time ago.
Like, and I finally said something, and then it started getting better.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I could have just said something the whole time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because we don't know what we don't know, and we
Yeah.
can't expect people to know what they don't know.
Yeah.
That's insanity. That's crazy. And this is what is taking out couples. This is what's taking out relationships in
It's
general.
half-assed communication.
And I don't mean, and when I say relationships, I say couples meaning romantically. When I say relationships, I just mean...
It's taking out relationships left and right, too.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like-
that's why I'm splitting them up. Romantic, and when I say relationship and romantic, yes, romantically, yes, it is taking people out. But I just mean friendships. Just...
Well, it's like if we set a boundary with a friend and then they send mixed signals and saying, oh, well, it's this. I'm like, okay, cool. And then you see that it's not that. And it's just like, well, were you lying about that? Why would you say that and then do this? Like, that shit doesn't add up to us anymore.
The math isn't mathing.
Yeah. And that's frustrating as shit, because then you're like, well, am I crazy? Did I read too much into that? And then you're like, well, no, because XYZ was said or done or whatever.
And my thing is that if you don't want to do this work,
That's fine.
I'm okay with that.
But just set that expectation up front, because
But
I'm not going to put that same fucking time in that situation. Because if you're not, why am I?
Yeah. If you want
And we've had that conversation
Yeah.
before too, because we've both felt like we were carrying the load at different times, and it's just like, I need your fucking help. And if
Yeah.
you're not going to fucking help me, we need to call it, because we can't do this to ourselves.
Yeah. And my thing is that be honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're not going to do the work, say you're not going to do the work. And
Or
own
don't
it.
want to do the work, or whatever the
Don't want to
situation
do
is.
the work,
That's fine.
You're scared to do the work. Whatever it is that is preventing you from doing the things you need to do, say it. Own it. It's like fucking Harley Quinn in the first Suicide Squad when they're in the bar and she's like, own it. I fucking mean it. And I do mean that. Fucking own it. I do not feel like putting my energy into doing X, Y, Z. Okay. That's great.
And that's acceptable for everything, though. It's
Yes.
like, because there's certain days we wake up and just like, I don't feel like fucking with anything. Let's have a chill day.
Yep.
Sit on the couch, watch TV all fucking day.
Especially like, not to like, this isn't throwing shade, but you don't cook.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I am by default, I when it comes to actually making meals, it's me. So after a long day's work, if I've just had a day and I'm like, I'm not doing it. It's not like you're like, but you fucking cook. You say, oh, okay, well, let's
let's
Do
do fend
this.
for yourself. Like,
But
eat
I can
leftovers,
come to you and
whatever.
say,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do not have the bandwidth to do X, Y, Z.
It's so hard not to say XYZ, by the way.
Yes,
Sorry. Because
I
we've
know.
been watching Shits and Gigs so much.
Yes,
Anyway.
I agree. But, like, it's... Own it. Everything you do in life, fucking own it. Even if you're not proud of it. Just because you acknowledge it and accept the fact that you did it doesn't make you... Just because
It doesn't make you a bad person
No.
for acknowledging it. Yeah, the thing you did might be shitty, but it doesn't make you a bad person. We all fuck up.
Yeah, everyone makes
And
mistakes.
I spend
Everyone,
a lot of time doing like the daily affirmation, whatever the fuck you want to call them that I do. Like, that's a lot of the mindset, is owning your darkness, not necessarily embracing it. I mean, you are embracing it, but not leaning into it.
You own it. You
You
acknowledge
accept
that
the
it's
fact
there.
that you have that in you, but you also have this. And just because you're one or the other doesn't mean you're just that.
Yes.
Like, we should accept both sides of us.
One of my favorite Incubus songs is Certain Shade of Green. And just to kind of... It's certain shades of gray. It's shades of gray. Life is shades of gray. Because nothing in life is cut and dry. It's this or it's that.
But that's what we're told our entire life.
yeah, and there's not.
And that's not true.
No.
And that's what we try to teach the kids. It's like, it's not all this. It's not, everything's not all it's cracked up to be.
Because my experience with something, my experience with this cup is not your experience with this
Yeah,
cup.
I give a fuck about that cup.
And that's what I'm saying. But my view of this cup and your view of this cup are two totally different things. So why can't we ask questions? Why can't we be honest about our experience with something without it being a
Turned
fight
into
or
judgmental or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah.
because in this case with two people, two things can be true. So in this case, because I mean in this example it's two people, so two things can be true. But because everyone's experience is unique to them and literally true to them, everything's true. Everything is true. So my experience with, again, the cup, like, my experience with it is true. Your experience with it is true.
Because I don't have an experience with it, so I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
So, and and again, I know I'm using these small, insignificant, like little examples
But it creates an example that you can point to and be like, look.
because it's the same thing. It's the microcosm of
I mean, that's how everybody does anything. You make analogies that are relatable.
valid.
So,
And it's just, I think, not all.
there she goes thinking again.
I know. It hurts my head sometimes. But maybe that's why I have a headache. Because I was thinking a lot yesterday. So, maybe. But yeah, everything is true. And it has to be. So, I think that the vast majority of issues for humanity, I don't even mean on like an individual scale, globally, if questions and clarification and open communication and honesty and non-judgmental conversation would change the world. Obviously, there are other things that I could very happily and easily stand on a soapbox for. Believe me, and I have. But this one, war alone. I want your stuff. Well, you can't have my stuff. Well,
Fuck
I'm going to
you.
fight you
Yeah.
for it. No, let's not do that. That's going to kill a bunch of people. Like, open...
A bunch of people that aren't you guys.
Yeah. Like,
that are arguing
open,
about it to begin with.
not judgmental. Because even it's like, okay, yeah, what you're wanting to do, not the coolest thing. And you know what? You want to murder us all and take our shit? Okay, I get it. Whatever. But like, How much communication? How much?
But see, the thing is, people don't want to communicate in those situations because they're trained to believe a certain thing, and that's where it all stems from. It stems from belief. Not knowing, not fact, belief. And they think beliefs are facts.
Yeah.
Even though they don't consider the other person's beliefs in their shit.
Yeah. Again, all things are true then. Because my experience...
I've had this theory since... I think it was even before Kaylee was born. It was somewhere around the time. I remember where we were living, but I don't remember if Kaylee was born yet. And it was everything to nothing. Everything is true from your perspective, and nothing is true
from everyone else.
And
yeah.
But it's that same thing for everybody. Everything that you believe is true. That doesn't necessarily mean what I believe is true to you. And vice versa.
And that's why we have to respect differing beliefs and thought processes, because it is true to that person, but that person's truth doesn't get to dictate my life. And this is why...
And that was the part of it that I was missing way back then, because it just like I didn't... I had the idea of it and I knew what I meant, but it took 20 years since then for me to be able to actually figure out what that meant.
Yeah.
And even now, I still don't fully know, but I think I got a better idea about it.
And it's very...
it's the same thing.
Side quest. A little short side quest. And it's political. I'm sorry. Not sorry. This is why there needs to be the separation of church and state. And
and a lot of people would disagree with that.
And I agree with that.
I'm not even anti-religion now. Like I'm the
I'm
opposite.
not either.
I pray every night again.
Yeah.
But I still think there needs to be a clear division.
Separation.
Because you're only considering in where we are.
Christianity.
You're only considering Christianity. What's wrong with people believing in the Muslim faith, in Islam, in whatever?
And there are people.
Or Judaism for that matter. Like all of it.
We have kids that go to school in hijabs with our kids. So we know for a fact that and I'm not saying that those students are not Christian. I don't know their household, but I'm going to assume with it.
Well, I mean, back in the day with Orthodox Catholicism, women wore the veil all the time.
Yeah.
And nobody sees the correlation between that shit. And it's just
But it's all different, right?
That's my point. It's like, that's the problem with religion. Not the fact that religion exists, because it does give people a baseline and something to believe in somewhere.
It fails to acknowledge the fact that every other organized religion is saying the same shit, just in a different way. Mm-hmm. Different hats, guys.
And it's not even... different hats. They're all wearing the same hat.
Sorry, my body's doing some things. I'm not liking the way my chair is sitting.
Yeah, we need to figure out cushions for these things, because it is cushioned, but it's not. Whenever you sit on it for long periods of time, it doesn't feel good.
And I get stuck.
Yeah.
Sorry, not even necessarily different hats.
It's not a different hat thing. It's you're all wearing the same hat, but you believe that they're all different. Because I have no problem with any religion whatsoever. If it gives people hope and something to believe in, I am for it. I personally more identify with Christianity because we're a Christian fucking culture, all that shit. And it's easier access to me. It's what I grew up on, yada, yada, yada. So yeah. I get that. But I don't even believe in the shit that I believe in the traditional way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that would probably rub a lot of people the wrong way. But I still believe in my way. It's not agnostic. It's not. It's very Christian, the way that I think, for the most part.
But you also are very aware and open-minded enough to say, okay, in the place of God... the word God.
But I say God knowing what I mean.
Yes.
And what I mean is the greater whatever that is out there that has done all of this.
Right.
Because I believe in the Big Bang, but where did the Big Bang come from?
Yeah.
And it turns into a fucking Alice in the rabbit hole type
In
thing.
what
Like,
scientist's lab did the Big Bang happen?
or
You know what I mean?
is it something else that we can't even fathom?
Yes.
There has to be something else is the point.
The older we get, the more we know that we don't know
that we
fucking
know
shit.
fuck all.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I'm fine with that. But
But
say
again-
all of those things in the Catholic fashion, knowing what I mean.
Yes.
Whenever I say God, I mean the universe that created everything. Whenever I say Christ, I mean the Christ spirit in all of us. And I think that's the difference. It's the enlightenment. It's the caring part. It's the part that we're trying to bring everybody together. That's the Christ spirit to me.
Right.
Whenever I pray, whenever I say the Hail Mary, I'm saying it as the mother of all. You know, that the matriarchal part of the women that I grew up with. Grandma, with mom, with Maria, Teresa, with you now because of how you raise our kids. Like, I envision you guys in that situation. Because that's how I was raised. Like, what do they say in The Crow? Mother is God in the eyes of a child. And that's always stuck with me since I heard that as a kid.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, that's true. Because especially being raised, but you got to think about it. You were raised Mexican too, and
No,
you
it's-
did not question the matriarch.
No.
That was it.
I
For me, that
adored,
didn't bite me in the ass, luckily, with grandma, because she
I
was a
adored
perfect
that
example.
woman. I did.
But then as you got older, you realized that it
Oh.
was my way or the highway, and that creates a whole different thing. But anyway, sorry, tangent.
No, I get it. It's people being, and it's so funny that yeah, I know
I get
it's funny that it's called being obtuse, which is a more opened angle.
And then acute is more closed-minded.
It's closed.
Yeah.
But you're being called obtuse and you're closed-minded. It's funny.
contradictory
It
if
is.
you really think about it. I agree.
But I think people's intentional obtuseness, that's probably not a thing. I don't care. It's a thing now.
It's literally not a word. I know that.
Yeah. But people's just bullheadedness of, I'm right, my experience is my experience. And that's true.
That's true.
Your
But you need to leave it at that and not say that the other person's is incorrect because it's not yours. So how are you telling them that their experience is wrong whenever you're telling them that your experience is right and that they have to believe you?
That's like telling somebody who stubbed their toe, you didn't stub your toe because I didn't stub my toe.
Yeah, exactly.
Motherfucker, my toe is bleeding right now. I stubbed the motherfucker.
I know I did.
No,
I
you
could
didn't.
see it. I could see it bleeding.
No, you didn't.
right
My
now.
toe's not bleeding. That's so gross.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is I say that because in a lot of aspects, because that mindset doesn't necessarily mean hateful. It doesn't necessarily mean malice. It means
It leads to that sometimes.
it can very easily.
A lot, actually.
And it does. But all the things can be true at the same time. And they are true because they have all happened. Everyone's experience and everyone's perspective has happened to them. So therefore it is true. And therefore everything is. Everything just is. How can we judge somebody for feeling whatever they feel about their experience in life? Because you wouldn't want somebody to judge the fuck out of you or shame you for your feelings for your experience, then why can't...
I don't know. I tell Kaylee I don't need her judgment all the time, and she disagrees with me.
She does
She
disagree.
thinks I need her judgment.
Just saying. But I just... It's so... It hurts my heart. Because, again, I have been guilty of that. I have
all
been.
have.
And, like, earlier you brought up the kids. The fact that we have children school age children. The fact that I told our 13-year-old the other day, hey, if you want to respectfully come to me and say this XYZ is hurting me, that's okay. You don't have to wait until you're an adult. You don't have to wait until you're out of the house.
Respectfully, of course.
Yes, we do things respectfully. Because
try to. I am very guilty of not sometimes.
I try to come to them respectfully. I
try to do it, but I know I'm the one that usually snaps off a little bit quick.
And I would expect the respect I give returned in kind, so come to me respectfully, I'll come to you respectfully.
But I also apologize, and a lot of dads don't do that.
Agreed.
I apologize whenever I cross the line or accidentally punch one of my kids in the face.
God, that was just bad timing.
It happened yesterday too.
Was it bad timing again?
Sort of.
Turn into
It was only once yesterday.
It was once yesterday, you hit the face.
Accidentally.
And
and immediately, as soon as I did it, I was like, "Oh my god!" And I like grabbed Noey's face. I was like, "I'm so sorry."
It's intent. There is intent. We have to factor in intent, and he was not intending to hit you.
I was playing, and
Or
you just got a punchable face,
you.
apparently.
Damn. But we are all here, whether we are the quote unquote adult or parent, as opposed to the child student, whatever
lot in life we have at the time.
We are all experiencing something, though, all at the same time. And it's all valid. And I heard something, and I will say this forever now. All feelings are valid. All feelings are valid.
They're valid, but they might not serve a purpose. That's the difference.
Your behavior and how you react to them is not valid.
Because you can react like a dickhead.
Yes. So, feelings...
Because same examples with the kids. I am right to get upset about certain things, like whenever they were fucking up in school or whatever. I am right to get upset about that. Because I am their parent and I am trying to keep them on the straight and narrow and not make the same mistakes that I did as a child.
Correct. We are here to be guides.
But me snapping off and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why can't you just da-da-da-da-da? That's me doing the same thing that was done to me whenever I was a kid.
Right.
That's not right.
Right. And we have...
And I had to learn that. And not that I didn't know that shit was wrong. It's just I didn't think I was doing the same thing because of my perception as a kid versus my perception as an adult.
And that's the thing is
and then you lose it in between and you're like, fuck, I'm doing the exact same thing and I didn't even realize it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot of people...
And I had to realize a lot of that with the boy whenever he and I had our fucking heart to heart. It's like I was doing the exact same thing that was done to me.
Yeah, and people just don't understand. And once they understand, they don't want to take
responsibility for it.
Yes.
And I was very against that. It was like, no, I'm right. Everybody else is wrong. Fuck them. Before.
Because it was your experience.
Yeah, and now it's just like, no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong in this situation. I should not have done whatever. Because
you
that
realize...
was not fair to you. Because I treated you the same way people treated me. And I said I was never going to fucking do that. And that's what made me break down with the boy.
Yeah.
Because I realized that I was being that person to him.
Yeah.
And it broke my fucking heart. It still breaks my heart. And I'm lucky that he's only 20 right now.
Yeah.
This wasn't me in my 30s, almost 40, coming to my mom and having that heart to heart. So, God willing, universe willing, whatever, we'll get to enjoy this a lot fucking longer.
Yeah.
And that makes me happy. It still breaks my heart that I missed any amount of time, but I don't know. I wasn't ready then. I don't know. And he made the statement during all of that. He was like, well, if I have to look at the bright side, and I just kind of looked at him, I was like, what fucking bright side are you talking about? He's like, it did make me stronger. And it's just like, Yeah, but
At what cost?
at what cost? And that was my thing. And I just kind of hugged him at that point. And I was like, I'm fucking
Again,
sorry.
this whole life is...
Accountability is a motherfucker.
It is. But it's essential. And in order for the communication part to work, the accountability part has to come with it. And the humbling of yourself to yourself.
I never wanted to be fucking humble.
Because it's not the fact that you have to humble yourself to other people.
No, it's the fact
You have to humble yourself
humble
to your motherfucking self.
Yeah.
And
And
that's-
realize that you're not. Yeah, it's a bitch. It's a bitch.
Well, yes, you are a good person. Your actions and behaviors have not been.
We're shitty. Yeah. You're
And
you were a
that's
shitty
okay.
person in certain situations, and
And-
you have to come to grips with that.
Yeah, and it's okay that you made the bad decision, but we
It's,
have
what are you going to do with it? And that's the
Yes.
same thing I've always told the kids. Like, you
What are
can
you gonna
fuck
do
up.
with it?
What are you going to do with it? Are you going to keep making the same mistake, or are you going to learn from it and not make that same mistake?
Because then it's no longer a learning opportunity; it's a choice.
Yes.
You're choosing to be whatever.
and I've told them that since Chris and Kaylee were little.
yeah. And it's just, I really think that everyone needs to swallow their pride. Pride is a motherfucker, and
Pride
I
cometh
think
before the fall.
I'm serious, and I think that's humanity as a whole right now.
Everybody's too prideful. Nobody wants to
No
admit
one-
that they're wrong, or that they could be wrong, or that they're looking at things from a skewed perspective.
I got told by a job once, don't say you're sorry
Yeah.
to the
I've
person.
heard that, and the moment that I heard that for the first time, I made sure I told everybody I was sorry.
Yeah, I apologize.
Because
I
if you're gonna
apologize for
if
the
you're gonna fucking
inconvenience.
fire me for that, I don't want to be a part of this
because
shit.
then in your next interview, oh well, what happened at that job? They didn't like for me to say apologize.
and try to empathize with people.
So I was written up for whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was written up for saying I apologize and taking my ownership in
I'm
my
taking
part.
ownership of the thing that I made a mistake about.
Because people think ownership means that it's all wrong, and that one, and
No.
because you take ownership of that one wrong thing, that means that you are accepting that you are all wrong all the
and
time.
why in corporate America shouldn't you admit to a customer that I'm sorry, I dropped the ball. Allow me to fix it
that
for
would
you.
build
And-
customer loyalty like a motherfucker.
But it's not about, that's the thing. It's not actually about customer loyalty.
No.
It's about the
Money.
bottom dollar. And you want to look perfect.
Yeah.
You're not perfect.
No.
I've always felt like the movies and TV shows and like anime and stuff, the ones that I really resonate with are the ones where you see that they were fucked up.
yes.
In
It's-
anime specifically, my favorite characters are the anti-heroes. Vegeta specifically. He was a bad guy. He came to Earth to fucking kill everybody and steal the fucking Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
Where do you see him now? He
Oh,
is
a
the
family
best
man.
father.
Yeah.
He loves Bulma unconditionally.
I love their relationship so much. I love
And
Bulma.
he has become the greatest tool whenever they're fighting people.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, he's thrown it down. He's got 2 kids, obviously. His sperm was so powerful it came back from the future to tell him, "Good job, homie.
Good. Self high five.
Appreciate it." Oh yeah, by the way, nobody say anything that I'm his kid because I want to be able to exist. But that's a whole nother thing.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the people that I resonate with because they have taken ownership for their mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Raph is my favorite Ninja Turtle in the TMNT movie. What does he do? He has to fight Leo, and whenever he does, Leo ends up getting kidnapped or what the fuck ever, and he has to go back to their father
And say,
I screwed up, and he is prostrating himself to him and just tears in his eyes like, I'm sorry, I fucked up. I don't know what to do.
And that's
And
how
then
we
they come together as a family and go get Leo back.
And I know-
it's one of the, like, I just got
Yes.
goosebumps talking about it because it's one of my favorite fucking scenes.
And that's the thing is that people, I know that, this podcast has been around for a long time in many iterations, and we've tried this for a long time. And I know that we're going to keep doing this, whether this takes
it's going to
off
keep
or not.
evolving, yeah.
And it used to be called To Raise a Child because, we were going down the
trying
road
to
of,
navigate that shit.
like the whole It takes a village to raise a child, and
that's still what this show is.
It is.
It is.
But the thing is that, and another thing that people don't realize is that it takes a village. It just takes a fucking village. It takes a tribe. It takes a group of motherfuckers to get through this shit, because we need people to ask for advice. We need people to guide. We need people to...
We have to be all of those things, not just one.
But we also have to be able to do it openly, honestly, and authentically, because then it's all bullshit. The best wrestlers, best characters in wrestling, are they made up? Are they some extravagant thing that aren't like...
No, it's usually extensions of the person.
You have
Stone
to
Cold
be
Steve Austin was one of the most successful
authentic.
because of that.
Authenticity.
The one that looked like a fucking joke was Hulk Hogan. Because he was, so you're purging, eat your vitamins. Oh, yeah, by the way, he's cheating on his wife and doing
that
all kinds
you
of...
can't believe a thing that motherfucker says.
He's fucking, what's his name? Al Gore of professional wrestling. I created the internet. All right, dude.
Okay.
Because, sorry, that was
No. I was going to go on that rant with you. But yeah, I'm there with you. You lying mother... And to any Hulkamaniacs out there,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
But it is what it is. Look into it, because that
motherfucker is
plenty of evidence to point that he's full of shit
in almost every aspect of his life. Uh-huh. The only reason we know his legal name is because
it came out that he's Terry Bollea. I am happy for him that it does seem like he really found like his spirituality and shit. So hopefully that straightens him out, but you never know.
I still don't believe things he says. Anyway, I just don't. I have trust issues, so I have trouble trusting people. So.
Why are you doing that? You get so mad whenever I stick my fingers in your nose.
Stop messing with it.
If you take your fingers out of your nose, they probably stop hurting.
Yeah. Factual.
Sobbing.
Wasabi.
Yeah, and you're my thing, so I can take your shit, and it's not gimmick infringement.
Oh.
Sorry. But anyway, yes, like we need to all try to understand each other better. It's the ultimate story in all of this.
Because we can't do this alone. Life is not meant to be done alone. Mm-hmm. And if we can't ask open and honest questions, authentic questions, anything, then
what's the point?
There's no point. And
because then you're not growing and you're not learning and you're not bettering yourself.
No.
Because you're just like, nope, got this shit. I know what I'm doing.
This is me. You deal with it.
It's like fucking Barney on Him. And then what ends up happening? He has to have all of this shit happen to him to change for the better. And
his daughters. Or I say daughters, but I was just making plural of the word. Not meaning plural. Anyway. I don't know if I'm built for social work.
I couldn't do it. It would break my fucking heart. And I'd start finding certain motherfuckers and end up doing some Dexter shit.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that we can kind of feng shui the social work. And this could be the way we do our social work.
That's how I've been looking at it too, because that was the same thing that I said whenever thinking about going down the therapy route. I was like, I know that shit's gonna fucking kill me.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, because that's exactly what I would want to do, but I know that it would just eat me up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
and it's sad that we have so much despair and sadness that there are jobs that would make you want to off yourself. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not going that far, but
it's true.
It would hurt. It would just hurt my heart, and I don't want to live like that all the time.
I would cry a lot.
And there's things that you can do to fucking mitigate that, and you go to therapy yourself and all that stuff, but
the fact that therapists have therapists,
they have to.
Yes.
And every therapist that I've talked to that's worth their shit says they have to do it because they cannot carry it with them.
Yep.
And it's a motherfucker.
It
so
is.
I'm not. Yeah. Anyway,
I just I don't know what needs to happen. And I said this in my post the other day because it's fucking terrifying to me and people who are in our spirituality community. Something's going on.
Like you can feel some kind of shift.
Something's
happening.
going on. I don't know what it is. I don't know what.
It's terrifying.
But what I do know, and what I do know is factual, is that the universe always corrects its path. And I know that things have to get to a breaking point.
A purging fire makes fertile soil.
I'm just saying.
And I'm hoping it doesn't come to a giant purging fire.
I hope it's not actual purging fire, please, and thank you. But I'm still terrified to see how bad
it has to get for everybody to pull their heads out of their asses.
Yeah. And that's terrifying. It's fucking terrifying.
But those are the people that haven't lived through the same shit that we have.
Yeah.
We lived through our purging fire already to where now we're like, no, that ain't what it is. This is what it is.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be coming together. We're supposed to be taking care of each other and helping each other.
Because the purging fire on a global scale,
it's a lot more terrifying.
Because granted, and just I know I'm being extremely long-winded, but just quickly, COVID was very much a purging fire and very unfortunate, and so much loss and pain and sadness because people lost so many people.
Mm-hmm. For pointless reasons.
For pointless reasons. It's a disease that it was just
because a lot of people didn't
follow direction,
understand what
and
it
follow
meant.
direction,
and it took them. I mean, yes, there were underlying health issues usually,
yes,
and
but
but it affected people that didn't have all of that, and they ended up dead the same way.
Yeah,
because they thought they knew better. They didn't listen to the things that were being communicated to them.
And I do understand that was like a global thing. It was a pandemic. I get it. Global thing.
That's how pandemics work.
Yes. Kind of in the definition of pandemic. But
Pangea.
My thing is that when it comes to, like, that was an illness. It was airborne. Like, it was a sickness.
It was a thing.
It was a thing. It was the Black Plague of 2020. Okay. It was the updated version. Except we didn't have to throw our dead in the streets. So.
It wasn't that far off.
Right. But when it comes to the matter of power and money and pride and things of that nature, things take a completely different course of action. World War I, World War II. That's why I'm terrified. And I'm not saying that it's going to be an actual World War III, but
and in some forms or fashions, it already has been.
And only
it's just not fought the same way anymore.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And it hurts my heart, and it terrifies me to my core to think about how bad it's going to have to get before the shift happens, before humanity and kindness comes back.
Like, what's it going to be like whenever our kids are our age?
Right.
That type of shit.
Like, I'm scared to see.
Or our grandkids. Like, whatever. Like, you just start putting it in perspective, and it just...
Yeah.
It sucks.
So, I'm gonna say this now publicly, and then
maybe we shouldn't beat our kids
publicly. And then I am gonna, because I've been toying with the idea for too long, and it's shit or get off the pot time. I am going to start looking into starting a support group. I know I've mentioned it for like the past couple months. I don't know in what capacity yet. But people don't have a village anymore. I was raised without one. And it sucks.
I was raised with one, and I still have the exact same mindset.
Right.
Because I know the importance of it. Like, if I can't imagine... I was fucked up. I was completely fucked up.
Could you imagine how off the rails you would have... Yeah, like, could you imagine?
Yeah, it would have been so much worse.
And I had to be my own village. And this shit is fucking hard. And it's not meant for one person.
Clearly it's
It's not, because I have so many physical ailments because of the mental.
because of all the stress
Yes.
and everything.
So,
like literal physical stress that your body was put through.
So I can no longer stand by when I have the capacity and the bandwidth and the heart to do it, to at least be a sounding board for someone or a group of people. So I'm going to start looking into once a week, once a month, whatever, because we need people to teach people how to communicate, because humans are not going to make it. We're not going to make it through. The vast majority
I
of
don't
us.
think the end game is for us to make it through.
Valid.
To be completely fucking honest.
Valid. But
We're nothing more than a fucking parasite on this planet.
I hate to throw these words out because they're very serious words, but suicide rates are at an all-time high. Homicide rates are at
The homicide rates are actually
due
falling.
to mental health reasons are higher now. I mean,
Yes.
it's yeah. Where I'm only talking mental health
Okay.
areas.
I get what you're saying.
Because who doesn't love a good old murder suicide? No, I'm kidding. Sorry. Thank you, Anthony Jeselnik. But
You could have tell me that murder suicide isn't the goddamn cat's pajamas. It's one of my favorite lines I've ever heard.
because we need people. And I'm not saying I'm an expert, and I'm not saying
We're not.
I am a
But
pro at
we're
this.
people, and we
I can
understand that people need people.
And if I have some sort of guidance,
You don't have to be this, that, and the third.
No.
Like, we can care about each other without having
A degree.
accreditation.
yeah,
You know?
I'm not going to give you medical advice. I'm
No.
not going to give you that kind
We
of
could
shit.
share our experiences and say, this is what happened. Like, with the boy, I was telling him, this is what I experienced. Your brain works a lot like mine. You might consider da-da-da-da-da. And it is kind of working for him. So,
And I do, I will offer resources. I know how to get my hands on resources. I want to be a hub of information and kindness and empathy and just you've said this to me before Mom died. I was meant to be a mother. Mm-hmm. And then after Mom died, I had the very awakening of myself of, I need to mother my family. And I don't mean, I need to be a mom to my kids. I need to mother my family. I need to nurture
particular situation. You meant me.
I did. And not in a condescending way.
No, and old me would have taken that condescendingly. Like, you're not my fucking mom. Like, but now I agree with you. Like, I needed that. I needed you to be the caring, loving person and take care of me in that moment because I couldn't take care of myself.
Gabby has said more than once, Mom. Okay, Mom.
Now, I've told you since we got together, I was like, you're the fucking den mother. You always have been.
And
we were the ones that always made sure that everybody was taken care of. And I'm not saying other people didn't do that same thing, but like that was, we made sure every single fucking time that everybody was taken care of. You're too fucked up. You're staying here.
This, that,
give them
the
a
other.
couch, give them a bed, whatever the fuck we need to do.
Go get a
Whatever.
wet washcloth. Come on, let's.
If you're and even without partying or whatever,
Yeah.
like, hey, let me know whenever you got home. And it's just simple shit like that
Have you
because
eaten
we
today?
did legitimately care.
Have you eaten today? I ask that question more often than not. Did you eat?
That was one of the first things I said to Chris is like, how you sleeping? He's like, well, I'm sleeping better except for last night, whatever the fuck. I was like, you
okay?
eating? He's like, yeah, I'm eating. Like, and it irritated the fuck out of me as a kid because I would
But
get that.
you get
Now
it
I get it.
now.
We're just like, okay, that's how they were showing they cared. They were interested party. They were trying to make sure you're taken care of.
Yeah.
And if not,
It's not
hey,
small talk.
Let's fucking, we got left over, whatever. If you need, anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's just. And I know I'm not going to do, this isn't going to be like a just me venture. I know that it's going to be a team fucking effort. But there are so many people out there that we know that don't have what we have. when it
Or
comes
don't have
to,
it in the same capacity.
Yeah, and then that's what I meant.
Because
The
our
support
lives
system.
were we had a giant circle because we were partying all the time. Once that partying trailed off for us,
It looks like it's just me
that
and you
circle
now, buddy.
started fucking shrinking
Yeah.
exponentially. And I don't regret that
Nope.
whatsoever. But it's that there's a lot of people that think they have a lot of people, and then whenever it comes crunch time, like they.
I don't. I am.
And I had to come to that realization myself.
I am 1,000% being. I'm 1,000% okay with not being the partier anymore. I did my time. I'm good. I started drinking when I was 13. I'm good. I stopped drinking in my 30s.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you didn't see Noey. Do it again. Do it again. No,
Yeah.
that's not what you did. The flutter.
Oh,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You want
Yeah.
something even crazier? I started smoking at your brother's age.
Yeah.
I was 11. The first time I had a cigarette.
We are feral. We are built differently. I'm telling you, we are built differently.
I personally had a drinking problem my freshman year. That's when my drinking problem started.
I thought I was going to die in class my junior year because I popped a handful of Adderall the night before and went to a No Doubt concert. I literally took so much that my heart was pumping in blood faster than it was pumping out. I felt like shit. Oh God, it was horrible.
I was taking the TOS test. I think
that is
sophomore
now, that was
year.
our version of STAR.
STAR. Yeah, it was TOS, then TAX. Now it's STAR.
Yes.
I took hydrocodone,
Oh God.
and I had never taken hydrocodone
You
before.
passed the fuck out, didn't you? Oh yeah, you did.
I've told you this.
Oh
Story.
yeah.
And I pop it, and I'm fine. First half of the test, multiple choice, da-da-da. You know that. Second part is the writing part, okay? I make it through the multiple choice. I get to the writing part, and I start doing this, and my head just starts hitting the fucking table because I can't hold my head up any longer.
Because we had no village. We didn't have people.
To say, hey, this is probably a stupid fucking idea.
I had someone writing the prescriptions for me.
I did not, but I had plenty of friends that were miscreants, so I was able to get my hands on pretty much anything.
I'm just saying. So
Stay away from drugs,
not of
kids.
to be clear, not of the Adderall, of hydrocodone. Sorry, I just felt the need to specify.
Yeah, I always had my hands on whatever I wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had whatever. That's a whole nother fucking podcast.
Yep. I'm not. Yep.
I'm not yup.
Yep. Mm-mm. But I feel that this is something that needs to be done because I'm part of the problem if I don't.
If you're not part of the solution. I agree with that.
And if I can tell my kids, you can talk to me about anything. We are here for you.
Why?
And we're like that with their friends too.
Yeah.
Why can't I do that? And I've done that to a complete stranger too. Can I give you a hug? You are crying. You are in this location. And please let me give you a hug. Everything's going to be okay. And I really hope that woman's doing fantastic right now. I really do. But by and large, we're all human. Yes, we're Hispanic, we're Native, we're African American, we're this, we're that,
That's
the
just
other.
different flavors. That's
Yeah.
all the fuck that is. It's
We're
all
all
the same
ice cream,
thing.
bitches.
Yeah.
I scream, you scream, we all ice cream, or we all scream for ice cream.
I
Like,
fucking hate mint chocolate chips.
me too. You are. It's okay.
No, you're like Neapolitan, dude. Because you got a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of chocolate, a whole lot of strawberry. And that's what I'm saying.
strawberry.
You're strawberry heavy Neapolitan. Anyway.
Yes. But it's okay. I just want to end this episode with just, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to be authentic. It's okay to ask for clarification.
It's okay to better yourself.
It's okay to better
if it doesn't
yourself.
line up with what you thought you were supposed to be.
Just because you didn't have standards before doesn't mean you can't have standards now. Like, just because it was doesn't mean it
is.
Has to be.
I agree.
And your feelings are valid, but your shitty behavior is not valid. So let's fix this shit, guys.
Yeah,
because
Noey.
our trauma may not have been our fault, but it is our responsibility to better ourselves. So let's get it together, guys. Again, if you need us, we are here. Reach out to us. If you have anything you want to talk about, let us know.
Send us ideas, whatever. We don't
Send
mind.
send us ideas. Reach
If
out to us.
There's a opinion you have that doesn't agree with it. Fucking voice your opinion. Because
Yes,
we're
let us
not
know.
above learning and growing.
And we're not above fucking having a conversation. I respect that your opinion is different from mine, but we can still
I like
have a
people that
conversation.
don't agree with me because I learn more stuff that way.
We need perspective.
As long as it's like a
respectful,
good,
normal,
conversation.
productive conversation. Let's get it together, guys. Let's do this, because in order to get the good shit that you want, you have to do the work. Let's do the work, you guys. Come on. Do the work. And I will offer my services, but you got to fucking do the work. Plain and simple. So you guys stay true to yourselves. Be authentic. Love you guys.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. If you like this episode or know someone who would, please help us grow the show by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Keep up with all episodes on Buzzsprout or anywhere else you get your podcasts.